Welcome to Earth Archives. Friends who have an impression of ancient Mediterranean history and culture must be familiar with the Roman orator Cicero. Although he also loved writing, the fact that we can see his works today is all thanks to my dear friend Atticus. However, is rarely mentioned in all major historical records. Today we will introduce his life and begin the theme of small figures in history. Before the show starts, please subscribe, like, and turn on the little bell. If possible, leave your thoughts. This will help the growth of the show. Without further ado, let's officially start. In the annals of ancient Rome, amidst the tumultuous currents of politics and culture, there lived a man whose name would be etched into the annals of history. Titus Pomponius Atticus. Born into a prominent family in the year 110 BC, Atticus was destined for greatness from the moment he drew his first breath. Atticus's early years were marked by privilege and opportunity. His father, Titus Pomponius Atticus Senior, was a respected Roman knight with close ties to the political elite. From a young age, Atticus was exposed to the halls of power and the corridors of influence that shaped the destiny of the Republic. Under the guidance of his father and esteemed tutors, Atticus displayed a keen intellect and a thirst for knowledge. He excelled in his studies of rhetoric and philosophy, developing a deep appreciation for the arts and humanities. Under the tutelage of his father and esteemed tutors, Atticus received a rigorous education in the arts and humanities. He studied rhetoric, philosophy, and literature with a fervor and passion that set him apart from his peers. His keen intellect and insatiable thirst for knowledge marked him as a rising star in the intellectual circles of Rome. As Atticus matured, he embarked on a journey of intellectual discovery that would shape the course of his life. He traveled to Athens, the intellectual center of the ancient world, where he studied under the renowned philosopher Carneades. In Athens, Atticus immersed himself in the study of Stoicism, Epicureanism, and other philosophical schools of thought. He engaged in spirited debates with fellow students, honing his skills of argumentation and critical thinking. During his time in Athens, Atticus also developed a passion for literature and poetry. He spent countless hours in the city's libraries, devouring the works of Homer, Plato, and Aristotle. His love for the written word would become a defining characteristic throughout his life. It was during his formative years that Atticus first crossed paths with the man who would become his lifelong friend and confidant, Marcus Tullius Cicero. Cicero, already a rising star in the world of Roman politics and oratory, recognized in Atticus a kindred spirit. A fellow lover of literature and philosophy, and a man of integrity and principle. The bond between Atticus and Cicero would prove to be one of the defining relationships of both men's lives. They shared a deep mutual respect and admiration for each other's talents and virtues, and their friendship would endure through triumph and tragedy, fortune and adversity. As Atticus came of age, he embarked on a journey of intellectual and spiritual discovery that would take him far beyond the confines of Rome. He traveled to Athens, the intellectual center of the ancient world, where he studied under the renowned philosopher Carneades. In the hallowed halls of the academy, Atticus immersed himself in the study of Stoicism, Epicureanism, and other philosophical schools of thought. In Athens, Atticus found himself surrounded by a diverse array of scholars, thinkers, and artists from across the Mediterranean world. He engaged in spirited debates and discussions, honing his skills of argumentation and critical thinking. He formed lasting friendships with fellow students, exchanging ideas and insights that would shape his worldview for years to come. But it was not only philosophy that captured Atticus's imagination during his time in Athens. He also developed a passion for literature and poetry, spending countless hours in the city's libraries and bookshops, devouring the works of Homer, Plato, and Aristotle. He was particularly drawn to the poetry of the Greek lyricists, whose elegant verses spoke to his soul in ways that mere prose could not. As Rome entered a period of political upheaval and civil unrest, Atticus found himself navigating the treacherous waters of Roman politics. Despite his aversion to political intrigue, he was drawn into the inner circles of power by virtue of his connections and influence. Atticus served as a trusted advisor and confidant to many of Rome's most prominent statesmen, including Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great. He played a crucial role in mediating disputes, brokering alliances, and promoting reconciliation between rival factions. Throughout his diplomatic endeavors, Atticus remained steadfast in his commitment to principles of justice, fairness, and moderation. He sought to uphold the values of the Republic, even as the winds of change swept through the city. Atticus forged close friendships with many of the leading intellectuals of his day, including Cicero, Virgil, and Horace. He provided financial assistance, moral support, and invaluable guidance to these talented individuals, helping to shape the cultural landscape of Rome. Atticus's generosity and philanthropy earned him widespread admiration and respect throughout the city. He was known not only for his wealth and influence but also for his humility and compassion towards others. Upon returning to Rome, Atticus found himself at a crossroads. He was torn between his love for the world of letters and scholarship and the expectations of his family and society. But in the end, he chose to follow his heart, dedicating himself wholeheartedly to the pursuit of knowledge and culture. Atticus became a patron of the arts, supporting aspiring writers, poets, and philosophers in their creative endeavors. He opened his home to artists and intellectuals, hosting salons and symposiums where ideas flowed freely and creativity flourished. He forged close friendships with many of the leading minds of his day, including the poet Virgil and the historian Sallust, whose works he would later come to cherish and preserve. As the political climate in Rome grew increasingly volatile, Atticus made the decision to retreat from public life and seek solace in the tranquility of the countryside. He purchased a sprawling estate in Epirus, overlooking the azure waters of the Ionian Sea. In Epirus, Atticus devoted himself to the pursuit of scholarly and literary pursuits. He spent his days immersed in the works of ancient philosophers, composing poetry, and tending to his vast library of books and manuscripts. Despite his withdrawal from the political arena, Atticus remained an influential figure in Roman society. He continued to correspond with his friends and associates in Rome, offering sage advice and moral support from afar. But perhaps Atticus's most enduring legacy lies in his relationship with Cicero. The two men shared a deep intellectual bond that transcended the bounds of mere friendship. They corresponded regularly, exchanging letters filled with insights, advice, and reflections on the state of the Republic and the nature of human existence. Atticus served as a trusted advisor and confidant to Cicero, offering guidance and support in times of crisis and uncertainty. He was a calming influence in Cicero's turbulent life, a voice of reason and moderation amidst the chaos of Roman politics. Their friendship reached its zenith during Cicero's exile, when Atticus opened his home in Epirus to his beleaguered friend. For 2 years, Cicero lived in exile under Atticus's roof, finding solace and comfort in the serene beauty of the countryside. It was during this time that Cicero composed some of his most famous works, including the Letters to Atticus, which provide a fascinating glimpse into the dynamics of their relationship. But even as Atticus supported Cicero in his political endeavors, he remained aloof from the machinations of Roman politics. He had little interest in power or prestige, preferring instead to devote himself to the pursuit of knowledge and virtue. He shunned the trappings of wealth and luxury, choosing instead to live a simple and unassuming life. In the twilight years of the Republic, as Rome teetered on the brink of collapse, Atticus retreated further into the world of letters and scholarship. He purchased a sprawling estate in Epirus, overlooking the azure waters of the Ionian Sea, where he spent his days immersed in the study of philosophy and literature. But even in his seclusion, Atticus remained a figure of influence and respect in Roman society. He continued to correspond with his friends and associates in Rome, offering sage advice and moral support from afar. His letters were eagerly awaited and eagerly read by those who sought his wisdom and guidance. Atticus's legacy endures to this day, a testament to the power of intellect, integrity, and friendship. He was not merely a man of letters, but a philosopher, a patron of the arts, and a shining example of the virtues of the Roman Republic. In the pages of history, Titus Pomponius Atticus stands as a towering figure of wisdom and enlightenment. His life a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit.